All right, so today we're going to do the VoD game analysis of G2TL. So this is their first meeting here at MSI, second day two. We'll just get into it right away into the draft here. If you can't, obviously, I don't, you guys can't see it down there, but Perks obviously has Kaisa, but Mickey's on Nautilus. This was weren't really any surprises, I don't think, out of this draft. I was a little surprised that you would allow G2 um, to get Vlad and Silas. I personally am not super worried about Silas, but that's going mid lane where he's much more dangerous. But Team Liquid gets a pretty good draft here, I think, for them. Jensen on Akali, Smithy on Sedge, double lift on Lucian, which, I mean, he's been pretty good on. I was surprised about getting Core JJ on Galio, but I don't know. I haven't been that impressed with Galio from NA teams this year, but he's definitely strong down there in that lane. I like this ban a lot. Get rid of Tom Kench. Get him out of the way. You get rid of the Taric because you don't want them to play Sona Taric. Again, we saw it later in the day. I just don't think Sona Taric's as dangerous as people like to make it out to be. There's a lot of stuff that can crush it in lane. Just go watch the SKT IG game. Watch what Draven does to that lane. I mean, it's a joke. It's the fastest game in international history. And they let Jackie Love get Draven, but that was terrible. Rek'Sai, great ban. Jace, good ban. It's pretty, like I said, it's pretty standard. I don't like giving away Vladimir at any point anywhere. Your team's not. Team Liquid could have banned that away because their team's not real strong with Vladimir. So they're probably not going to pick it. Impact's not a great Vladimir player. Jensen's, I mean, he's a good player, but I don't know how big of a pick Vladimir is for him. So, but like I said, it's pretty standard. I think Not's pretty powerful right now, but they gave themselves a chance to win. The only one that was kind of odd was putting Impact on kind of a carry, but he holds his own in this game. I still don't think that should be their plan, but they went for it, so we'll just get into the game.
Enables their team to get the early game lead, and expectations are that Xmithy will look to play towards the bot side of the map. You have a Galio Lucian, a very easy lane to be able to set things up, but you are playing the Sejuani as well. And something you have to be very careful of is going up against someone like an Olaf. If he matches you and he gets that counter gank off, it could end in disaster.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's going to be, really dangerous.
Turn this down. Pretty standard. Looks like they're going to get vertical in here now at this point. But like I said, Wonders performed so well this year. To give him something that powerful going into this game, I think was a pretty big mistake. Caps is up and down, but we talked about it in the last game analysis when G2 played against IG. Is Caps is so dominant against players he doesn't think are as good as him. Like, if he thinks he's better than you, he dominates. He's very confident in his plays. Like, he just pops off. And I don't think he thinks Jensen's on his level by any stretch of the imagination. And you see it in this game. It's just when he runs up into rookie and stuff. So I think you need to be a little more careful about what you allow him to get on. And good damage early. Silas is pretty tough to lane against in the mid lane. He has so much healing once he gets going. He's also got Conquer in this one. But Jensen took Fleet Footwork for safety. It's going to give him an easier laning phase until he gets that Gunblade completed. Unless he goes for Vamp Scepter first. I mean, you can kind of do that. Pretty standard vertical jungling. Sedge would definitely lose one-on-one versus an Olaf. When he gets down to low health, he just tears you apart. So, I don't know what else you can do there. I don't know why that keeps doing that. These are fine. Wonder knows that's coming. Olaf's trailing right behind it. He knows he can't really get killed there. There's nothing they can do about it. They're not going to even get his flash out of him. You're just going to get his pool out of him. So unless you can abuse that window, there's not much use to it really. But you got to do it. You got to show your presence down there. It's a huge mistake by Core JJ. It's weird. It looks like he was trying to go over to protect double lift in that situation, but there was nothing really to protect there. Double lift's not going to die there. He's got his dash. He's on Lucian. And if they get into tower range where he's at, he's going to get a kill on somebody. So, I mean, it's level 3 Lucian. He had no problem tearing one of them up. So that was kind of odd by Core there. I don't know. We'll see a replay of it later. I saw a replay of it earlier. It looked like he was trying to dodge. I don't know. It's kind of weird, the kind of thresh hit mechanics there on that one. It's a pretty big hitbox, but just not sure what Xmithy's doing right now. Like, he just kind of wandered into the top lane. Like, you're not going to out-farm Olaf, and the advantage is his 100% if we're just going to farm, because he's going to farm faster than you do. And it's a lot easier for him to gank at 3/4 health because he still has a lot of power under 50% health, and it's a good trade for Impact right here. Yeah, so this is a play. And that was pretty wonky hitbox. But I don't know why he went back in there. He could have just walked away from that. He could have just walked backwards. Like, he wasn't blocking double lift. Double lift was fine. It's a minor mistake, but it got him first blood down there. And you don't expect it out of Core JJ. And it's definitely not a pressure situation for Core JJ. He's been in these situations. It doesn't bother him. It just happens sometimes. People make mistakes, but it was weird that he kept going forward and then charged back into him like he was protecting double lift, like sacrificing himself. Maybe he thought double lift could get in there and get a kill on Mickey, and it would have been a 1-for-1 trade. And then most likely double lift wins the 1v1 after that. They're near double lift's tower. He didn't have the minions that Perks would have had right there, but he had no stacks on him for Perks. So unless Perks can get to that proc before double lift kills him, it would have been very tough. But it's early too, so double lift's cooldowns would have been pretty low or pretty high. It's a really good job by Impact top. I mean, Vlad's not a great laner anyways, but it's a great play by Jankos right here. I'm not entirely sure what Jensen was trying to accomplish there in the initial trade. Like, you're going to lose that trade every time with Silas with Conqueror, so I mean, his Ignite's up, but you're not going to 1v1 him at level 5, and he's level 6. He might hit that afterwards. But it's just dangerous. You allow them to get a lot of vision in here and a lot of control because Xmithy is literally doing nothing right now. He has no presence on the map. I mean, he can't go bot. This whole area down here is warded. Yeah, just not sure what the plan is here. It's like a hard farming Sejuani. They don't win mid lane without her. Like, he has to pressure mid because that's a 1v1 Jensen isn't going to win all the time. Even post 6, it's not a great win. Jankos can just walk into any lane he wants to right now. They have total river control from the top to the bottom. Total control. This isn't a great idea. They're both 6 too. Yeah, it's a pretty slow start. I mean, G2's got both the kills. I mean, pretty solid gold lead, but just such a huge farm lead bot. Just really surprising. You can see it's starting to fade now down here on this. I mean, it's starting to fade out, but for the first, 8-9 minutes of this game, G2 just had total control of the river from top to bottom because Sedge is doing nothing right now. Why does this keep changing? What? That's much better. Mickey went way too far there. Vlad doesn't have teleport, so you gotta know Impact's got that. He hasn't had to use it to get back to lane. He's gonna get a second one. They get a dragon here off of it too. Not entirely sure what Mickey was thinking there. It's been a pretty standard beginning. I mean, it looks very evenly matched, but just some odd decisions. Maybe the pressure's getting to some of them, but they've gotten a lot more control down here now. Team Liquid has, but this is just weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, you're not going to kill him there, even if you had your jungler here. Even if Olaf's here. I don't know. Even if he's standing right behind Mickey right there, you don't kill double if he's still at heal and flash. Yeah, there's nothing you could do about that. It was a really, really odd play. The teleport wasn't coming in, but it didn't make any sense. Some pretty telling stats right there. Wonder had much, much more difficult matchups on day one. And he's still up 23 CS at 15 and 584 gold at 15. It's pretty huge. Granted, that SKT game, he just had a free run of it top, but double kill. He's still down farm, though. Cap's going to chase us down. Super powerful right now. Not anything they can do about that. What are these two doing in that situation? They didn't rotate at all. Just a weird play. It's so very solo queue. Like double lift and Core JJ might have lost a few minions and a little bit of XP there, but I mean they could have come up here through the Gromp area. They have a pink right here, so G2 would have had they would have only known that they left that area because of the minions, but I mean they could have got in there and maybe got a shutdown on Caps or something. They could have got somebody in that situation, and I think at this point it would have been much more useful for them. They can't go to late game. Their team is terrible in late game. Like against Vladimir, Olaf, I mean Kaisa, there's just with a knot in the front line, and there's the late game situation for Team Liquid is non-existent. Sedge will get just destroyed by Kaisa. She'll get torn up when she goes in there. Aatrox has got his ult, but I mean, Akali's not a great fighter unless she's way ahead in those situations. She's a great skirmisher. But the other one is Lucian's such a short-range AD carry. Like, unless he's even or ahead and they're very fair, like front-to-back fights, he's gonna have a lot of trouble maneuvering in those fights. It's just terrible decision by Perks. I mean, building up to that, like you can look at the mini map there. Like if you're Perks and you're standing right here, like you have to know. You don't know where Core JJ is, so you have no idea where he's at. You don't know where Double Lift is, and you have the whole jungle here warded. The whole thing's warded. You have vision everywhere, so you know he's got to either be in this lane or back at base. And you can't 1v1 Lucian at this point in the game, so that changes later, but right now, there's no chance in that. Team Liquid's got to clear some of this vision out. Yeah, it's just, there's nothing you can do about that. This is a nice play by Impact. Really nice play by 1-2 though, the stall. He stalled that out long enough to get the trade kill on it. That's a huge advantage to G2. That these kills on Impact are nice because I'm sure it makes him feel better, and it makes the team feel a little bit better. He's not getting stomped and laying up there, but I mean that gold, as far as team fighting goes and skirmishing goes, isn't that useful. You got to be really, really good at Aatrox to press your leads with him. Again, that G2 still has vision in here. This is such good vision. Such good deep vision. Man, Jens got blown up. Again, though, this is not recognizing, like, in your region this might work for Jensen because he's not going against like amazing mid laners all the time. He's going against very average to below average mid laners. So Akali, it's I don't think it's very difficult for him to pop off on Akali, but Akali's so hard to play. Like you don't see a lot of people in this tournament having great games on Akali unless they're really, really talented players or their team's just hard stomping, so they can get in there and get a bunch of kills and be very safe because they're not the target. But when you're the target on Akali, like you have to be so talented on that champion just in general to make her effective. And it's just not understanding your power from a draft perspective. Like what's Akali gonna do unless Jensen's way ahead, like 3 kills, a bunch of farm, like an item and a half up. Like he's not going to tear this team apart by himself. Especially with Fleet Footwork. He doesn't even have Electrocute, so I mean that's a total laning thing, and he still lost lane because Xmithie's doing nothing. It's a pretty big gold lead for Double Lift though. And that's the scary part about Vlad. Like he doesn't even need to be relevant. He's still up in farm somehow though. It's just such a good job by Wonder. Such a good job by Wonder. He's up in farm. He hasn't had a ton of pressure up there, obviously from Sejuani. But again, I don't know what Xmithie is doing right now. They still have deep vision in here. Still, they still have 2 wards in here. They've had full vision of Team Liquid's blue side jungle since the beginning of the game. Like this is pretty standard ward to get away with, but look at this. I mean, there's 1 ward down here. There's 1 deep ward. Look at the comparison of vision right there. There's 1 deep ward up on the blue side of their jungle, and now that's gone too. Like Liquid looks okay right now. Like they look like they have a chance, but really they don't. Like all their power I mean, they have some on double lift, but I mean, Core JJ's pretty far behind, so he's going to die pretty quick in fights. Jensen's way behind. He's down in farm. He's down a kill. He's down 3 assists. Smithy is... He can't survive a fight for very long. Like, he might be able to skirmish in a situation, but really he needs 2v1s or 3v2s so they can kill at least 1 or 2 of them before he dies because he has no tank stats yet. And they're just going to get slowly choked out here. That's such a weird comment by Azael. Like, this isn't a difficult game for Wonder by any stretch of the imagination. Hasn't been under a ton of pressure. He made a great play under tower to get a one for one when he was behind. I mean, he's doing everything he should be doing, and as long as he stays halfway relevant, once you get to late game and team fights, Vladimir's a monster. Dangerous for impact. He can get 1v1 by caps pretty quickly here. He might not have the mana to do it, though. Vlad's coming down anyways. Yeah, there's just no deep vision. Like, it's all defensive warding at this point. That mid-tier tower, mid-tier 1 being up, too, is really bad for Team Liquid right now. They can't press any of their advantage. Their only problem with it is, like, it seems like they're trying, Impact's ahead, but they're not really putting resources into him. But even if they do, like, he's not going to be able to, he can't really run Vlad down anymore. That's over. He's got Zonias. He can't fight Caps one-on-one. So, I mean, what lane's he going to go and press by himself right now and put any pressure on them? They have 2 people that can match him pretty easily. So there's really no advantage there. So at the end of the day, they're just losing across the board. Good opening on him, though. Mickey's already up here. Cap still has a big heal. Now they have all the vision topside. Gonna go after this tower, too. Impact's dead. Jensen's pushing bot, but again, I don't know what Smithy's doing. He's just down in the river. There's now 4 members up there. There were 5 members up in your red side jungle pressing that top tower. Finally, Caps goes back to deal with Jensen, but you're getting nothing done. Jensen can't win this fight. He's just slaughtered. Just poor individual decisions. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, it wasn't even that sick of a play. It was just a pretty standard play of someone who's very far ahead on a Silas. Like, what's Akali going to do to him, especially Jensen? He doesn't have the talent to outplay that. And so unless he's ahead in items, like, he can't win that fight. I mean, he didn't even stopwatch. He knew he was dead. He didn't even try. He didn't even attempt it. 2 full items plus a stopwatch. He had 6 stacks on his Dark Seal, obviously, when that started. But what are you still doing there? You saw him. You saw him coming. You know you can't win this fight. He's going to steal your ult. You're dead. 5% of his health. Just free for him. This is when Caps pops off, though. He knows he's better than him, so he just presses his advantage and doesn't make those tilted mistakes. But every time he runs into Rookie and Faker, even though they beat SKT and they looked great doing it, he looked lost. But here he's confident he's better than everyone else in that team. And that's when he really pops off. So that's when I say it comes down to just a mental thing for him. Team Liquid's just in such a bad situation right now. Like, they can't force any team fights over objectives because they'll just lose instantly. in G2's comp is this mid-late game comp, and they're all very safe. You know, Silas has a huge heal. Olaf's Olaf. Vladimir, I mean, he's got tons of healing. He's got tons of stalling. He's got his W. He's got his Zonias. Nott's tanky. He can lock down any target he wants to. If he wants to lock down a tank so they can't engage. If he wants to lock down someone in the back line, he can get there. His Flash and Ignite are back up. And Kaisa can follow him with her ult. And she has a cleanse. I mean, they're in a bad situation right now. I don't know who can match Vlad at this point either. I just have so much right here. And the really even, they're talking about it like it's, like Team Liquid has a chance in this game right now, and they don't, because barring two huge mistakes from G2 or something around Baron, there's no situation where Team Liquid can force G2 into a bad situation. G2 doesn't have to fight any of this stuff. They just need to keep farming. They win at 3 items. They win at 4 items. They win at 5 items. They win at 6 items. So nothing. There's no pressure on G2 at all right now. They can go for crazy plays in the side lanes. They probably don't want to give too much shutdown gold away, but I mean, even so, Silas is only at 400. Jankos is only at 300. They're not 1,000 gold shutdowns. But I mean, he's at 16 now, so he's got his level 3 ult. This is just weird. It's definitely not enough. It's a weird engage. Just desperate. Just run him down. Yeah, I don't know what Jensen was doing there at the beginning of that. This looks like Caps. I mean, what's he doing right here? Like, you're not going to kill Perks in that situation. Wonder's right there. Mickey's coming around the corner. You can see him. Almost got him, but I mean, even so, even if you get him right there, you still lose this continuing fight. Like, you know they're going to re-engage on you, and they're going to keep you there. And you got Caps is coming in on the side. Perks gets to come back in the fight. Impact's ult's already done. You just can't engage in that situation. I mean, you think you're going to pick Perks off there. But like I said, even if you do, you still lose the ensuing fight right afterwards. And then Caps is just so far ahead, he just runs him down even more. And that's game. And like I said, they talked about it today like this game was close for the whole entire time. It wasn't close. I don't think there was any worry for G2 whatsoever. They had full control of this game from the beginning. They got the first blood down bot. It's just a really weird play. But that's with Ignite. Like, it wasn't that close. Fleet footwork, if you had Electrocute, you might have killed him. Or you would have killed him. But you went with Fleet footwork for lane, which you lost anyways, so. But this is going to be their problem the whole entire tournament. They don't understand their power. Akali's not a power pick for Jensen. There's plenty of things that weren't banned that they could have taken for him that he's much better on and probably much safer on and much more useful to the team. That's not a great champ for Impact either. I mean, you gave away you gave away Vlad. maybe the best champ in the game in pro play right now, or at least one of them, if not the best. Like I said, I've lamented Silas quite a bit, especially in the top lane, because I just don't feel like, he's a kind of a win more champion. But in the right hands and mid lane, he's much better. But when he does get ahead, he'll run your team down. He does so much damage. He does so much healing. He's caught out, but he's not. Like, you can't it's Vladimir. You can't get his full health again. You can't kill him. So this game's just over. There's nothing they can do about it. Vision doesn't matter. They can't challenge for Baron. And yeah, the items are a big thing, and the champs are a big thing. But I mean, Caps is just a much better player than Jensen is. I mean, you can make all the regional comments you want, anything, and just when it counts, when it's after it, Caps is just a much better player. He just seems to have a little bit of a mental block against Faker and Rookie. Well, especially against Rookie. I mean, just nothing you do. That's your strongest guy on your team, and he got slaughtered in that fight with an Executioner's Calling and a Death's Dance, and there's nothing you could do about it. I mean, even calling him a triple threat team is pretty disrespectful to that team. I mean, penta threat, is that a better word for it? All 5 of their players are outstanding. I mean, Mickey's had tons of great games this year, if not carried games. Not that they weren't going to win them, but I mean, he's just been phenomenal this season. So anyone on their team can pop off at any given moment. They're very, very hard to ban out. I get it. I just wouldn't give them Vladimir. And I wouldn't put your mid laner into a losing matchup if you're Team Liquid, because that's a losing matchup. Made the right call to give up the inhib. They didn't call anything. They can't stop it. There's nothing they can do about it. They don't get a choice in that situation. It isn't giving up the hit. Look at Caps. He's fighting 2 people. He's almost at full health. I guess. I mean, what else do you do? I mean, you can't win this game, so use his ult, triple kill for perks. That's game. Like I said, this was a disappointing game for me personally. I thought Team Liquid screwed this up from the beginning. They posed no threat in this game whatsoever. They didn't give Doublelift a chance to really do anything. The first blood down there was a big deal, but I don't think it was that big of a deal. But Xmithy wasn't doing anything. He didn't pressure bot, he didn't pressure top, he didn't pressure mid. I don't like Jensen on Akali in this situation. Again, you have to be so good at Akali to make her really effective in these games. She's not her. The initial rework Akali was so out of control with her healing and her power and stuff. Yeah, you pick her in any given situation, but it just seems like Team Liquid doesn't know what they're good at. They just go by what the book says they're good at. They're the best team from NA, so this is the meta. This is what we're gonna play, and they're missing their actual own power spikes. So it's a weird situation. I don't think this game was close at all. I think it was actually kind of a stomp. G2 took it very casually. I think it was a pretty free game for them. They're better at every position. I think the only position you can argue, Core JJ is better support, I think, overall than Mickey is, but Mickey's a very good support. He's had a really good season. But at every other position, G2 is they have a clearly better player at that position. Doublelift might be a better AD carry. than Perks, but he's definitely not a better player, and I don't even know if he's a better AD carry, to be honest with you. Perks is really good. Cap stomped Jensen pretty hard. Wonder's very good. He's definitely better in impact. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect Team Liquid to win that game. I just don't feel like they put themselves in a position to even have a chance in that game, because these are the best of ones. These aren't 5-game series. I think they have plenty of chances to beat anybody. Anybody can beat anybody in these games for the most part, unless you're Fong Vu or Flash Wolves, really. Anybody can beat anybody, but, people talk about Team Liquid, and I think it's pretty clear how far behind North America is than the other 3 regions. I don't think they're even close. And G2 just proved that, because, I mean, it's even hard to argue that G2 is the weakest out of those 3 regions, Korea, China, and Europe. G2 is really, really good. They are a super team, and they showed it against SKT. They got stomped by IG, but, I mean, IG's so far ahead of everybody else. I guess that's kind of difficult to think, but Team Liquid had no chance in this game. They didn't give themselves a chance to win. They don't understand their power. And like I said, G2 just kind of took, Vladimir was open, Silas was open, Kaisa is open, Naught's open. The only thing they did was put Yankos on, he's still a really good Olaf, but he probably would have played Elise or something like that, or put himself in a different situation, I guess, if he could have, but he didn't need to. And they had no chance in this game whatsoever. And they try to make it out like it was an okay game, like it was close. Team Liquid played pretty well at the beginning, and then G2 just got ahead, and that was the end of it. But really, G2 was ahead from minute 1. They had full vision control of their blue side from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, and then they moved it up to red side where Baron was. They didn't even focus on Baron. They just knew if they just kept pressing the lanes. That's what I was talking about, because that type of team, they're better. Like I said, they're better. They might not be better if both sides have 2 items and it's even. That's a situation where Team Liquid can win a team fight. That's a situation where Lucian's very, very good in those team fights. He'll shred someone out because they're not tanky enough. He'll destroy, a squishy character. He's really short range, but that's okay because he'll shred through their tanks really quickly. Aatrox can get in the back line with his ult and cause disruption. Akali can still assassinate somebody at that point. But Jensen was never relevant in this game. Again, you have to be at least even, if not slightly ahead, on Akali, because you need to be able to blow someone up very quickly, and then you can even get crazier in the fight. And then but if you can't do that, if you can't assassinate somebody instantly, she's a useless champion. She doesn't help the team at all. She has CC, but it's attached to her ult. She has great mobility, I guess, but she's not going to be getting around that team fight. If Nautilus just doesn't want her to move, he's just going to focus in on her and decide that she doesn't get to move. So, yeah, they had no chance in this game, and it showed. And I don't think there's much that Team Liquid can do about it at this point.